Law of attraction, letting go of your desire, surrendering, and detaching. I'll show you how to do that to create more peace, happiness, and attract what you want. This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and let's dive right into letting go. Number one, it's important to know that your self-worth isn't defined by your net worth or anything of the sorts. Because what happens is maybe you're trying to attract more money, or you're trying to attract a relationship or something exterior, right? And the result of that is we can get really worked up about it. But it's really important to know that your self-worth isn't determined by your net worth. It's not determined by the relationship you do or do not get. It's not determined by the amount of money that you make or how other people perceive you. If your self-worth is determined by things outside of yourself, then you're always going to go through fluctuations where time is good and time is bad. And that's because we live in a universe where everything is always changing. No thing lasts. This too shall pass. All things are temporary and transient. So you might have, some amazing physical looks to you, but eventually they might start to decline. But if my self-worth is determined by that, I'm going to go through fluctuations where I'm really high and where I'm really low, but etc., etc. And what I want you to grasp is this idea, rather this truth, that you are perfect and whole in the image that you're created. You're perfect and whole in the image that you're created. You're one with the source of all things. We're all connected to that energy, to that perfection. And we're a physical manifestation, individualization of that perfection. That's what you are. So you don't need the money, you don't need the relationship, you don't need the car, the job, the acceptance from other people. You don't need it. It will be nice to have it, but you don't need it. And when you can grasp that, and you're coming from this place of, I really desire this thing, but I don't need it in this moment to feel better about my life. Like, in fact, my fiance Ashley and I were just talking last night, and we were, my business has taken off to levels that I couldn't imagine. And it was a couple years ago, we were so broke, I couldn't help with the bills. And so she was in debt just paying our everyday groceries and things like that. And it was tough at times, but we were really happy. And there were times where there was an overlying sense of stress. Absolutely there was. I have to be 100% transparent with you about that. But overall, we were living a happy life still. And my business just took off. This YouTube channel just took off. And things have really changed. But the success that I have now that I didn't have before, I didn't need that success for me to feel like a worthy person, for my life to feel good and complete, and for me to find joy and abundance. And when you can have that same philosophy and experience in your life, where you are good, whether or not you get the thing, then you're detached, then you've let go, then you're not in lack, you're in abundance. And the law of vibration is the primary law over the law of attraction. The law of attraction says like attracts like. The vibration that you're in dictates what you attract into your life. And when you're in a place of abundance, you attract abundance. When you're in a place of, I need this money, I need this relationship, I have to have this thing or else, what happens is you're in an energy of lack, and the thing cannot come to you that you want. Number two, if it's meant to be, you'll have it, because spirit never manifests itself other than perfectly. We live in a world of pure spirit. Think about all the times when things have not went your way. Think about it. I can think of tons of them. Like when I was starting my career, I had a dream to be published by a certain publishing company. I put all my eggs into one basket. I actually took 8x11 pieces of paper and I wrote on the paper that I was published by this certain publishing company. I put hundreds of them all over my walls. I was certain it was this company. This was the only way. I needed this thing to happen to be successful. And they said no to me. And I was so sad. It was so depressing, and I had to pull all these pieces of paper off my wall, and I thought there was no chance now for me to be an author and do this work that I'm doing because I thought I needed them. Goes back to the first step. If your self-worth is determined by getting something outside of yourself, then you're set up for disappointment. And that's what happened to me. But now looking back, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because I couldn't get a publisher on the first book, so I had to self-publish my first book. But the result of that was I learned the ins and outs of the publishing industry. You don't learn that unless you self-publish. I learned the ins and outs of the publishing industry. I learned how to be my own publicist. I took courses and classes and trainings on public relations, how to pitch media. I started pitching media. I started getting on the news and huge podcasts and huge blogs from me pitching. So I was learning all of these skills that I never would have learned if I got signed originally and I expected them to do everything for me. So it became this great thing, and it took a lot longer, but then eventually I sold a lot of that first books, and then the #1 publisher in the world, Penguin Random House, signed me to a 2-book deal, and things started building. But it was that initial disappointment that actually created who I am and what I've created in my career. And so the challenges in your life aren't here to kill you, they're here to transform you. And spirit never manifests itself other than perfectly. There's a higher meaning through what's happening. And if your mind is getting crazy, it's just your subconscious programming. So download my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com down below. I created this hypnosis through the process of going through these struggles because my old programming would pop up and be like, no, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, here's why it's not gonna happen. I'd be like, no, that's not true. You're right, you know when that happens when you have two voices going on in your head, one's like, no, everything's a failure, but then that higher voice is like, spirit never manifests itself other than perfectly. Well, it's subconscious programming that's causing that negativity. So I created this hypnosis that I would listen to every single day, and I would use that to start to reprogram my mind. And you can use it too. jakeshypnosis.com down below, totally free. So remember, spirit never manifests itself other than perfectly, and if it's meant to be, you will have it. Stay patient. And number 3, if it's not this, then something better. So I didn't realize that at the time when I really wanted this certain publishing company to publish me, but it's always this or something better. And I should have had that involved in my statements I had all over my wall. It's this or something better. I'm open to spirit having a higher good for me that's gonna manifest into my life, and I trust that process. So tell yourself that. It's this or something better. It's this or something better. Whatever you're wanting to manifest. It's that or something better. And when you're coming from there, you're not attached to one specific outcome that has to happen a certain way. Because we live in a world of infinite possibilities, and there's a higher order, a higher intelligence that governs life. And if we're stuck on one thing, remember the first step, our self-worth isn't determined by your net worth. And by that, I don't just mean your net worth. I mean, it's a cute saying and it rhymes. But it's not determined by your relationships that you really want to work out and they don't work out. Or that job you really wanted to get and you didn't get. It's not, your self-worth isn't determined by that. So it's always this or something better. And when you affirm that, you start to develop a healthy relationship with manifesting. Quite often people are trying to manifest and attract and use the law of attraction to create what they want in their life, but it's unhealthy because they're putting all their eggs in this basket of, if I don't get this thing, my life isn't going to be complete. And it's the reverse way. We need to come from abundance and recognize it's always this or something better. So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com. We're talking about how to actually let go and detach from the outcome. Please rewind this video, use these steps. You have to download my success hypnosis. Use that to combat all the negativity that pops up. It's jakeshypnosis.com down below. Press the subscribe button in the corner over there. And remember, your self-worth isn't determined by what you want to happen and it doesn't happen. You're perfect and whole in the image in which you're created. So be sure that you comment where in the world you're coming from. I'm in Maui, I got my Hawaiian shirt on now. Let me know where in the world you're coming from. I'd love to know, and have an amazing day.